Yeah.
But like I say, on this tradition of Glenn Miller, I'm very interested in that because of some of the solos there by Steinmeier, I guess it is, and
Yes, Dave Steinmeier.
and Nark and Barenbreg, if I pronounce that right.
That's correct.
I do get a lot of calls in asking who they are. I mean, absolutely, I can't say anything better than phenomenal.
Well, some of them I know very well. Vaughn Knott came to me from a very small town in Pennsylvania, Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. And it's a place that I've been guest conducting for the past 16 years. And the first year that I went there, he was in junior high. And he was with me all the way through senior high, just as my yearly visit as a guest conductor. And following high school, he came to the Element of Note to audition and made the audition and has become one of the great trumpet players of the country, really. Dave Steinmeier is a very unusual story because he's one of the few people, in addition to Vaughn Knott, who came directly to us from high school, which is very unusual. Most of our people are college graduates. But Dave Steinmeier came here when he was 18 years old as a trombone player and worked his way up to become the leader of the group.
Well, I guess that is saying something.
That's great. Very unusual.
And not only that, I mean, it sounds, wow, here we are. We have this music still coming out of the Air Force in the tradition of Glenn Miller. And what I'm finding, and I'm going to lead up to something, I'm finding that a lot of the newer people are just discovering the music of the 40s.
Yeah, I think there is a resurrection of that era, the 40s and the 50s. And, of course, a lot of this emanates back to the 30s yet.
Right, but what I wanted to lead up to was I'm trying to get a feel from you as to the audiences that you play, whether or not you're finding the same type of reception.
Yes, there's no question about it. Young high school kids more and more are relating back to the big band music. The stage band is what they call them now. They've had a revival at the high school level, and a lot of that music is being played by high school kids. And I'm very pleased to see that.
Well, we are too, because we're trying to, make them aware of the good things in life, and that's one of what I consider to be one of the most important good things in life. But I know that the Air Force does this for recruitment and also for public relations, and that's why I was interested to know the age groups that were showing interest in this type of music.
Well, it really has bridged the generation gap. People from high school age up into the 60s and 70s enjoy the Element of Note. It probably is the most appealing unit we have to bridge the generation gap.
And they're doing a fine job, too. Can you hold on just a second here?
Sure.
You have a couple of minutes yet? I know you're a very busy gentleman. Let me remind you that I'm talking live from Washington, D.C., with Colonel Arnold Gabriel, the commander and director of the United States Air Force Band, right here on AM 95. And in the studio with me is Betty Blair of Whitesboro, a former student teacher that taught Colonel Gabriel in his youth. AM 95, WIBS, Utica, Rome, New York. Great place to be. I'm Harvey Lisker, and Colonel, getting back to some of the units that travel overseas, very interesting because I exchanged programs with a gentleman in Bradford, England, on Pennine Radio. And I guess he had an interview with the director of the European band at that time, not too long ago. And it was very interesting. They're talking about this type of music, and they don't find too many radio stations playing it. You there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just, do you find that to be here in the country, United States?
Well, more and more stations are carrying that kind of music. You're right. Our Air Force band stationed in Europe just did a special for the BBC, I'm told. And our Airmen of Note, as a matter of fact, are very popular on the BBC. And Dave Steinmeier, even though he has never personally been there, has gotten quite a following in England. We get an awful lot of mail from England and a lot of interest with the recordings that he has done. So that kind of music is still very popular in Europe, and in particular in England.
Oh, yes. They are very strong on the Glenn Miller tradition, that's for sure. And I know they do everything they can to. In fact, Sid Lawrence over there is still carrying on the tradition of the Glenn Miller. But that takes me back again to that particular album because I'm fascinated by it. Now, that specifies that it's carrying on the tradition of Glenn Miller without really trying to reproduce that particular sound. Is that correct?
That's right. We do some of the original pieces that he played. They're not exactly the same arrangements. We tried to update them a little bit. But in addition to that, doing some popular things of today's era in that same kind of setting.
Accepted. And the band leaders that I've been speaking to are all attempting to do that because from talking to the musicians, so many of them are sick and tired of playing the Miller sound. And they're trying to express themselves, and they're not being allowed to. The people are not accepting it. And I think that you have bridged that gap.
Yeah, that's what we've tried to do.
And how do your musicians feel about playing the original sounding of the Millers?
Well, they enjoy it. As a matter of fact, that's not the only thing we do. You see, it's just a part of the repertoire. Pretty much the same as our concert band. We try to do a wide cross-section of kinds of music. As an example, we'll do transcriptions of orchestral works that were written 40 or 50 or 60 years ago, and we'll do some contemporary things too. So we try to perform all kinds of music. Well, I think when people try to stay in one particular style, I think that's very inhibiting.
That's what I was trying to get at, because it seems that, in other words, all the up-and-coming youngsters want to express themselves.
That's true.
And they want to have that continuous ability to make those changes in the arrangements or in their own playing so that they can develop their own style. And that's what music is all about as far as I'm concerned. Just like art. I mean, that is art. And that's what an artist tries to accomplish.
Well, what you're saying is that it has to live and continue to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Betty, is there anything else that you would like to ask Colonel Gabriel?
No, I think it's great that you're doing such a variety of things, Dave.
Well, I think what we should do with you is to have split headphones so you can listen to the concert on one ear and listen to the big band jazz on the other ear. How's that?
That's fine.
and then we'll widen the listening audience that way.
Right.
And
Exactly.
General, I want to thank you immensely for calling in, taking the time.
Well, thank you, and also thanks Betty very much for staying up so late to talk tonight. I've enjoyed it.
I'm retired now, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I've got an 9 o'clock rehearsal in the morning.
Good luck. You say hello to Fred for me, please.
I certainly will.
Right, dear.
And listen, if you could, I would love to have Steinmeier and Knock and any of the others that could possibly call at any time to call us, get some interesting conversation with them also, if that's possible.
All right, I'll talk to my Puppet Affairs people and see if we can't work that out.
And feel free yourself to call anytime.
Okay, Harvey.
Thanks a million.
Thanks for talking to me.
Okay, have a good day now.
Good night.